Masayang Gabi Pilipinas, she is a woman who needs no introduction. The iconic Miss Gloria Diaz! Together with her beautiful daughter, na soon-to-be mother of 3, Isabel Daza. Hi, Belle! Hi, Miss Gloria!
Hi, Tony. Parang kailan lang.
Parang kailan lang! Yes!
I was here, but I love your studio. It's so beautiful.
Thank you. Hindi kasi, I remember, Miss Gloria, nung nag-usap kami, tapos nakwento siya about you, and may request. Kasi parang natutuwa sila sa dynamics yung mag-ina. Kasi pinaprank mo din ang mami mo.
Yeah. Marami
Lahat takot
times
kay Miss Gloria, lahat parang, the Miss Universe, pero yung ginagawa mo sa mami mo.
Oo.
Grabe. No, Belle is exactly like her father. Her father also, he can think of the most amazing jokes on people. You know, and you will be surprised. Siya talagang pinaka-game na game talaga. He will go all the way. Like Belle will go all the way for a costume party. Ganun talaga siya.
But I have this other prank na hindi ko pa nagagawa sa kanya. So feeling ko, baka matak sa puso or something.
My heart is well.
I need a medic there. So sabi ko, okay, next time na when I'm not pregnant.
Hindi kasi may vlog kayo, hindi makaget over si Miss Gloria.
Oo.
Yung How Many Men? Did you sleep with? 45 ang sinago. Parang grabe naman.
45?
Yung who knows
ano yan?
mother
For a year? Ano yan? Busy parang call center?
Oo, no.
Hindi siya makaget over sa sagot mo.
Siyempre, she's old na, so I was like, Yeah, but no.
Grabe naman yung count.
45?
She's conservative.
Okay,
Mukha
sabihin
lang.
mo na at 20 o 21, okay, had gone. So in 40 years, walang humpay?
45, grabe. Yun ang prediction. Pero gina-joke mo yun? O, yun
Yeah, I
talaga
was just kidding.
Ah,
Pinipressure ko lang siya. One time we did unboxing, tapos kaya pala may tao sa loob ng box.
May gift daw siya sa akin.
We have it on video.
Okay, that's a prank.
Muntik na niya, binuksan niya with cutter. Muntik na niya sasakyan. Pinsan ko, buti naka-helmet si Franco. Good thing he was in a
For
helmet.
that Electrolux.
Yeah.
No, another time ganito, okay, more
I have
emotional.
a lot.
On Christmas Day, Belle has no gift for me. I feel so sad naman, wala siyang gift sa akin. And then, do you remember?
What?
Then she pushed parang shoebox. I feel so good. Baka may cream, may kung ano dyan, or whatever. Pero when I lifted it, walang laman. Sabi ko, weird. When I opened it, there was the key of the car.
Oh.
I got
That
so
wasn't a
emotional, I
prank.
cried.
Yeah, but
Siyempre, that's a prank because it's a box na walang laman and then the key of the car. I cried.
Yung dynamics niyong mother and daughter, how would you describe?
How would you describe it, Ma?
Okay, I think si Belle, she knows I'm of a certain opinion and very often hers is really saliwa or rather contradictory. But if she knows I really believe in something, atras na lang and then she does what she wants, di ba? It's got nothing to do with what I want. Basta hindi lang kami nagkakasigawan or really ganyan. Ma'am, ganito, ganyan. But Belle is very mababang luha. If I really get mad, iiyak na siya.
Yeah.
Hanggang ngayon,
So,
to this day?
of course.
Yeah,
of
super.
course.
Iyak eh.
But then she always says sorry naman to me because I'm always right.
Ay,
I don't know.
always right. Ayan na siya na nag-claim. She's always right.
No, so when we make tampuhan naman, it depends on Usually si Paul, my mom's assistant, will explain our side. Tapos siya yung mediator. Tapos one or the other will reach out with
And then I realize, because especially she lives abroad, I'm always trying to tell myself, syempre, they have children, di ba? I have many opinions, even about their children. I always feel overexposed sa nature. I always tell her,
May overexposure ba sa nature?
Hindi sa TV and social media. sa nature.
I always feel kids should only be outside for about maximum 30-40 minutes. Tapos pasok na.
Very,
Ito, kanon.
Pinoy.
I don't want yung masyadong malamig
Sunblock.
ang kwarto.
Insect repellent. Ang dami niyang
Yes, sunblock, insect repellent, number
Ayaw niya
one yan.
mag-swimming ng
Matagal.
I just
Dapat
ignore
30 minutes lang para hindi magkasipon. Kasi Belle and Ava and Rafael, they never were sick. The only
Okay.
time Belle got sick was when she was 8 years old. That day pa naman, hindi ako sumama magbantay. She fell off a horse and broke her arm.
Yeah.
Talagang never got sick.
Protective. You're very protective.
The word is protective or before anything goes wrong, gusto ko, wag na yan.
Preventive, ganun.
May
Nanay
mga
na
langgam
nanay.
dyan, ganyan-ganyan.
Super, yeah.
But sila now, I think the new way is you let them find out. If they stand on the table, they can fall. They never get sick. The three of them, never. Kasi they have to sleep by 7:38. Ngayon the children, 9 o'clock na, gising pa. Okay lang, hindi ba?
Yes. Strict kasi noon, may parang certain way and pattern kung paano pinalalaki yung mga bata.
Yeah.
Kasi kinuwento sa akin ni Bel, pag daw nasa restaurants, di sila pwedeng umorder ng mahal na drinks or kahit ano.
Talagang hindi pwedeng drinks, tubig lang.
Bakit? Bakit
Because
po?
you can have orange juice, fresh orange, but with their father, fresh orange juice, bigla mo siyang double.
No, why aren't we allowed to order drinks?
Mahal!
It's expensive. Yeah. Hindi, totoo. I
Eh,
swear.
mayaman naman po kayo. Artista po kayo. You can
Kahit
afford.
na, but it's expensive. If you go home, you buy the oranges or you squeeze oranges. Hindi ba?
Basta we had rules.
There were rules.
No aircon.
No aircon.
No aircon.
Unless there are 3 people.
Hindi nga po.
I swear.
Grabe.
Yeah,
mga
just air fun.
rules.
But dapat may 3 people at least in a room.
O, tas
Pero pag
biglang-
mag-isa lang, walang
No
aircon.
aircon.
Ay nako, hindi kami natutulog with aircon. Or if may aircon, gigising siya at midnight, ino-off niya. So pag gising namin sa umaga, I'm like sweating. Yeah,
Di
ganon.
ba?
Yeah.
Okay lang yun. And
But
then,
it's good because
pag the car is going one way, sabay na kayo, you be early. Para isang puntahan lang ng kotse, hindi pwedeng. One of my biggest anger with her, nasa Quezon City siya, and then pinabalik daw niya yung kotse kasi yung favorite lip gloss niya, nakalimutan niya.
Ay, nagalit po kayo.
she
Super.
was like, ginagawa mong taxi yung kotse ko.
Wala pang grab-grab noon,
Yeah.
ha? And all that. But
But my mom's
Anyway.
very practical.
Sayang ang gas.
Oo.
so, and driver ko napagod. Di ba?
Talagang very concerned po kayo.
Di ba?
Oo.
Siyempre.
Hindi iba talaga yung style ng parenting noon. Ano?
Yeah, very Pero now I try to still have discipline naman with my kids. Kaso mas free ako. Yun na nga, like they can swim, they can go to nature. But my mom's very like, okay, sunblock, insect repellent, palitan ng shirt.
Yeah.
Yung ganon.
Siyempre, parang hindi nagkakasakit, di ba?
Yeah.
I feel so bad when I see the kids sick eh. Parang,
I'm sure yung mommy mo, mommy Pinty is also like that with Sevi.
Yes, may mga certain ways sila na akala nila i-apply natin.
No, but Belle is a good mama because talagang she likes the food properly and her children are really into fruits. But now, I'm telling her, ang fruits kailangan slightly limited kasi that's sugar.
Paano niyo po dinidisiplina si Belle nung bata? Nakaranas po ba sila ng palo?
Never.
Never.
One time lang si Ava, she arrived very late. I pulled her hair.
Oh my God, that was so scary.
I pulled her hair.
As in sa bunot po?
Hindi,
Na
isa lang ganun.
isang
And
ganun.
then sabi niya, my God, Mama, get a hold of yourself. You're getting violent. Sabi niya, I'm violent.
Hindi niyo po sila pinalo nung bata.
Never,
So,
never.
paano niyo po sila tinuturuan, dinidisiplina?
Ano ba?
Kasi
they
takot
were-
sila sa inyo.
Mabait naman sila eh. They were doing it or maybe doing it behind my back. I don't know.
Hindi, I think you never would give us what we asked for. Parang it was, no, I mean in a good way. Kasi kunyari, if my friends always had all a new bike and stuff, parang
Yeah. Sila wala.
Christmas, we'll wait for Christmas. Tas,
Even
on our-
Christmas, I already told Belle,
Yeah.
ngayon, Christmas and your children have so many toys, you only open
One
one gift a day.
Yeah. So parang
Sila ganon.
what she does is, tinatago niya lahat ng mga gifts, tas
Gifts.
one a day or minsan 2
When
days.
you wake up in the morning, one
So
gift.
hindi pwede everything.
Afterwards, when all the gifts are open, you choose 2 gifts and the rest you give away.
Saan niyo po nakuha yung ganyang style ng parenting? Yung mga ways,
Wala.
rules?
I just realized that they are very parang it's so easy to buy. It's harder to say, I always tell her, it's harder to say no than to say yes. Di ba, when the children wanna do something, sige, okay, go, don't sleep, okay. It's harder to say no kasi nakakapagod makipag-argue, di ba, sa bata?
Tsaka pag umiyak.
Yeah.
Ako.
Yun yung
Pero
sinabi
there-
mo nung last interview.
Yeah.
Ngayon mo
And
naintindihan.
Ngayon ko lang naintindihan. Kasi
Yeah.
syempre with Balti, please can I watch iPad more? Yung parang, syempre I want my time. I wanna go online and stuff. Pero I'm like, okay, no. So yeah, I super understand what she means kasi I think in the long run, nakakatulong siya in developing contentment. I think a lot of children grow up, children who don't have boundaries and children who get everything they want when they're young. We think that it's giving them
Gratification
everything.
kagad.
But when they grow up, they become very unhappy because they don't really know what actually makes them happy when they have everything.
We only had one TV in my room para I can control the TV.
Yeah.
And I can be with
Oh my
them
God, I
at
had
the
such
same
a
time.
deprived childhood now that I'm thinking about it.
Talaga, sa kwarto nyo lang ang TV.
So that she can watch, they can be there beside me. Kasi if they each have a TV, wala na, nobody will bother with being with you, di ba? It's good.
You're so strict.
Hindi naman strict, basta gusto ko dun
Na-feel
lang.
mo yun, na-stick ang mami mo nung bata ka?
No, hindi ko na-feel yun. Pero
Kala
now
niya
lang, parang I'm
normal
thinking, I was
yun.
like, normal lang. Pero, when I would go to my friend's house, I was studying sa Assumption noon. Sige, like, kunyari mag-order sila ng Taco Bell or something. Sige, unlimited. What do you want? What do you want? Huh? I can order? Ganon.
Ikaw nagugulat?
Yeah. So parang when I go to her, my friends have this, my friends, diba? It's natural to compare. She's like, well, that's your friend. It's not you. So parang, okay, fine. Pero we got sanay na to be like that in our family.
Simple lang, di ba? Do not have instant gratification.
Yeah.
O, tignan mo, type mo, o sige, isipin mo muna. We'll go back. Never naman tayo nag-go back, di ba?
Hindi, kasi di ba ganun po yung mga mami, na parang usually ang mami ang spoiler eh.
Yeah. Or you want to
Usually-
give your child everything.
The father was a spoiler.
Yeah, the father.
My gosh, sometimes they would go to Lipa, and then pagbalik may sugat dito. What happened? Ganito, ganyan. Sabi niya, nahulog. Papa bought us all these motorcycles. Ganito. Ha? Bakit magmo-motorcycles itong mga ito? 3 motorcycle. Di syempre, yung isa
Scooters,
nadapa. Na all the scooters. Na maliliit. Ganun. Kasi Bong was a spoiler. He was also very spoiled eh. Di ba?
Yeah.
Yung papa.
So kayo ang parang naging disciplinarian in a way.
Well, yes and no, but really, actually, her yaya was also quite strict, no?
Yeah,
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 Yaya was also
Yaya
strict.
Lining, yeah.
Sa damit lang. Everyday kailangan bumili ng damit.
Dahil?
Kasi anak daw sila ni Gloria Diaz,
Oo
ganyan-ganyan.
nga po, yun yung itatanong
Kailangan
ko eh.
bago lagi ang damit. And then, I'll say, Yaya, pumunta ka na lang at bumili kayo mga fake jeans. Yan. Ha? Bibili ng fake jeans? Ma'am, malalaman ng tao yan.
She's like, naloloka. with
Sobrang
her.
tipid niyo po talaga.
Hindi naman
Super
tipid. But I said, anyway, after 1 month, wala na yan eh. They were growing.
Yeah.
5
Also
years old.
very practical with
I
your
would
money.
buy,
Practical.
I would buy expensive shoes for them. Yung talagang Italian shoes. And then food.
Yeah,
Always good
opo.
food. But my yaya, everyday bumibili ng bagong damit.
Eh kasi nga po, anak ni Miss Gloria
Supposed
Diaz.
to be. For example,
Anak ng Miss Universe.
For example, pupunta sa party, okay? Kailangan bago. I said, make Ava use na lang. Isabel, naku, alam niya ng mga yaya. Sabi ko, ano ba?
Ayaw niya mga hand-me-down si Yaya.
Ayaw niya yun.
Pero ang galing, no? Kasi hindi alam niya ng mga tao na si Miss Gloria Diaz pala, very practical. You know, you're an actress, you became the Miss
Eh,
Universe.
syempre, buti
You're
nga,
used to the glitz and glam.
buti pa nga wala pang telepono kung hindi talagang in control. Syempre, I was always shooting. In fact, I remember Ava, her sister saying, why can't you be like other mommies? You know, when they come home, they're cooking, baking cookies. Sabi ko, Aba, just buy the cookies there. I'm shooting here.
Yeah.
Ganun. Kasi she always says, how come you're never home? Other mommies, they have baking cookies daw and all. Baking cookies niyan. So, just buy.
Yeah, so anyway,
Kasi you're a working mom.
working mom talaga.
And a celebrity.
Hindi
Yeah.
naman, but it's just that it's not a normal thing,
Setup.
you know,
It's not
set
a
up.
normal
Why don't you ever sit there, stay home and
No, but I feel like you
cooking?
cooked a lot on Sundays. with
Yeah,
us.
on Sundays. But di ba, kasi before, when I started movies and when they were young, our movies were sunod-sunod, di ba? Those are the golden years of cinema. So, these people, they hardly saw me at home. And when I'm at home, I'm making lecture.
Yeah.
Pero ang galing, no? Kasi tumatak yung mga lecture ng mami mo sa inyo.
I think more than saying it, what's important is you do it. So I think children won't listen to what you say, they will watch what you do.
Pero Miss Gloria, paano po nung may mga nanliligaw na kay Belle?
I didn't know they're making legal. I thought they just want to be friends. I mean, they were friends kasi in Sanlo, di ba, ang daming mga boys dyan. But Belle was a tomboy.
Yeah.
Ang mga siguro nanliligaw or trying to be close were mga kabasketball niya. So, syempre, okay lang, di
De,
ba?
pero when I was dating my husband now, si Adrian, boyfriend ko siya siguro mga 3 years na or 4 years. I remember one time we went to a dinner, tapos sabi ng mom ko, this is her special friend. Adrian, I was like, okay, he's my boyfriend.
Yeah,
Parang
syempre.
3 years na
Yeah.
kami.
Yeah,
and
but,
then when Adrian asked for my hand in marriage,
Oh, yeah.
what did you say?
No, ganito yon. Ava told me, Adrian wants to meet with you, Mama, ha? So ako, baka mangutang to. so, bakit ba?
Bakit naman utang agad ang naisip mo, Miss Gloria?
Why naman will he want to meet with me? So I said,
Utang
oh my
agad.
God. And then sabi ni Ava, Mama, he just wants to talk to you. About what? Ganyan. Anyways, but be here na lang, Ava. I said like that. Then I told also Mike, I said, be here. Then so she came, hi, Tita. Then medyo, Tita. And then he said, I want to tell you that I'm asking Isabel for her hand in marriage. I said, yeah, of course. I figured one of these days she'll want to get married and this and that. Sabi ni Adrian, no, Tita, it is not one of these days. I want it soon. Ha? Sabi ko, Adrian, I am not ready. I'm not yet ready. I'm not ready pa, ha? Please, I'm not ready. Sabi ni Aba sa akin, chinek niya ako, Mom, he's not asking you. Sabi niya, he's asking ate. Sabi niya, Mom, sabi niya, it's not you, he's asking to get
He
married.
doesn't want to get married to you.
Sabi niya, he's asking ate. Yeah, I know, but Isabel is still too young. I got married at 36. I said like that. And look, I had 2 kids pa, 3 plus Rafael. She's too young to get married.
Ilan taong ka ba nun?
28. We got engaged 28. Tapos 29 na got married.
29. Sabi ko, she's too young. Kanya, she has the time. No, Tita, I'm already old. I said, why, how old are you? Because
Talagang ayaw niya. Kawawa si
So,
Adrian.
nag-ano sila, nagbabargain,
Exactly.
push and pull.
And then I said, well, I don't know. I said like that, but you know, I'm not sure, but I want to have children right away and just like that to have, I don't want to be an old man by the time I have a son to play soccer or football, I don't know. But na-confuse ako kasi that's the last thing I was thinking, that he wants to get married
Talaga?
now. Sabi niya, now, I want to get married now.
So, paano tatapos po yung usapan nyo?
And then, of course, ang bait naman ni Adrian. Sabi ko, okay, Adrian, but don't forget, I like you very much. If you and Belle ever have a fight, I'm on your side. Medyo,
True.
Ganun ba hanggang
Ganon, yeah. Hanggang ngayon.
medyo ganun na nga kami, even now, Adrian. I think he's still surprised that
sumbong.
I could say so many things, you know. First, no, too young, I'm not ready, and then I'm on your side. Kasi she's really difficult. I said, why do you want to get married to her? She's so difficult. And she's so
Siniraan pa yung anak niya. She's so difficult. Sinabi niya yun.
Yeah, he's so difficult. She's very bossy. I said, you know, she's very bossy. Ganyan.
Really prepared. Great. Thanks,
So,
Mom.
yun.
Ano
But then
sabi
he was-
po ni Adrian, kahit na daw po?
And he says, no, she's the most thoughtful person. She ganito,
naman.
ganyan. Binola pa ako. But he's very, very, very nice.
So really, up to this day, pag nag-aaway sila, kampi kayo sa kanya?
Siyempre.
Kampi
In fact,
kay Adrian.
Not sa kanya, kay Adrian. Siyempre,
She's like, yeah,
sometimes
she's
when
really
she
like
complains that he stays in the office too long, ganyan. Said, allow him, never mind. He has
She's
everything he
teenager.
does is perfect for me.
Wow.
He really is.
Pero how is Belle for you as a mother pag pinapanood mo siya?
Super good. Naawa nga ako sa kanya eh. One time, she was gonna fly on I don't know where. Yung isa nakasampa dito, yung isa karga-karga niya.
Was coming home.
Coming home. Parang sabi ko, oh my God, she's so kawawa.
So umuwi ako, I had like all this luggage, the 2 kids. And yun. And then she upgraded me. So I was like, oh, nice.
Sinabi rin ni Alex yan, ate, alam mo, akala mo social lang si Belle, pero alam mo ba, when she travels, nag-e-economy siya.
Yes, yeah.
Sobra niyang practical.
Sobra.
But,
lalo na Hong Kong kasi 1 hour and a half lang.
But of course, that's against her will.
Yeah, it's again. Syempre, gusto ko rin.
Yeah.
So I...
Especially when dala-dala
Ask
niya.
her.
But that's not the worst.
Anong worse? Ay, meron pong worse.
Luning doesn't want to fly economy.
Ay, si Yaya. Yung ni Yaya.
Really bad. Mom, isang beses pumunta kami ni Luning sa Bangkok. Eh, syempre, we were in a hotel and then we put her in a hotel together with Paul. Tinapon kaming parang basura. Sinama ko lang siya doon pag-shopping. So, syempre, we had to move her to our hotel. Hindi daw siya
Yaya's her
kumain.
needs.
Hindi daw siya kumain ng breakfast. Hindi masarap. Para kaming tinapon parang basura. So,
Pero kamusta po yung relationship niyo with Yaya Luning? Kasi para siyang naging second mom din.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, of course, of course.
Yeah, she's...
Yeah, okay si Yaya. Demanding. Anong tawag to?
The one time,
Anong nangyari kay
the one
Yaya?
time si
Opo.
mom, she was shouting.
Oh.
She was shouting sa house. Napagalitan niya lahat. Then Yaya said, ang ingay-ingay mo. Lakas ng boses mo. Then mom went in the room. Yaya said, my voice is so loud. Parang napahiya siya. She's like, napaquiet na lang
No,
siya.
entitled si Yaya. Parang, pero mabait si Yaya.
Pero
you can,
part na siya talaga ng family.
mm.
Pero ano yung nakita niyo po kay Belle na ginagawa niya sa anak niya na tinuro niyo? Meron po
No,
ba kayo
she's
nakita?
better mother because she's really yung
Wow,
more
better
hands-on. Silang dalawa. They change the diaper, they take care, karga ng karga. So she's a better mother because she really, wow. And Adrian brings them to the park, etc. Ako, I think I only brought them to the park during Halloween, no?
Yeah.
Eh,
Pero
kasi
now,
you're busy po eh.
now she's a very hands-on grandmother.
Oh, paano siya as a lola?
Oo. She's very,
I want to give them everything
everything.
that I did not do for them.
Yeah.
Kabaliktaran
Oo,
naman.
Ganon,
bahala
diba?
sila.
Ganon na ba yung mga grandparents?
Ayaw mag-toothbrush, wag na. Yung gano'n.
Yeah.
Okay lang.
Yeah.
Diba?
Hindi pwede sa magulang yun. Pag-toothbrush kayo, di magkakaproblema tayo sa dentist.
Exactly.
Kayo po, okay lang, ay mag-toothbrush?
Okay, bahala kayo.
As the grandkids. Pero kami, hindi kami
Yeah,
ganon.
hindi. Sila,
Tapos
they
yung
would come to
chocolate.
my,
Sweets.
after in the morning, before school, malalaki na sila eh. Siguro mga 10, 11, 12. They come in the morning to me and I put my finger in their mouth. Kung
That was
madulas, go back, toothbrush again. That means they did brush well. Di ba? Di ba, Ben?
Yeah.
Grabe.
And then pag nag-aaway kami, she'll say, don't be so mayabang to me. I paid for your teeth. I'm like, oh my God. I was ready to pay back for my teeth.
Anong dati ngayon?
Braces,
I
and
paid
diba?
for your teeth.
Retainers.
May ganun ba kayong away ng mami mo na like, you didn't talk for a week, you didn't
Oh
talk
my
for
God,
days?
One
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
when we did the ad,
You did the... She went to my Rogue cover
Oo.
and she screamed at
umirap siya sa'yo,
everyone.
sabi niya. Naalala niyo yung away
She
niyo.
screamed at everyone. And then the next day, we had an ad.
we had to do an ad together where she's so loving, she's so caring. Ako na, mama, ako na. Sabi ko, ano?
And
My
then when the
God.
director cut, hindi kami nagsasalita. As in,
Hindi kayo nag-usap.
separate dressing rooms talaga.
Ah.
Yeah.
Paano nare-resolve yung mga conflicts na ganun pag nagkakatampuhan?
You know, just a little bit of space and then okay na.
Little
Wala
bit
na.
of space, and then my mom
She
usually...
always apologizes.
No. Magpapadala siya ng fruit sa akin. She'll be like, I brought you mangosteen. It's so sweet. Charot. I'm like, okay.
Charot, that's the word, charot. No. But that time was really strange because nobody knew why we were in separate dressing rooms.
Ah, hindi po kayo nag-usap buong shoot.
Hindi. Kasi the day before nga, nagkagulo nga kami eh.
Bakit
Di
po
ba?
kayo nagkagulo sa robe na pictorial?
Kasi I was nakapanty. And then,
Ang daming lalaki.
ang dami kasi nga.
Tapos dumating po kayo.
Yeah. Siyempre, it was God sent talaga kasi natapos ang shooting kong maaga. I called Yaya Luning, Yaya, kumusta ang shooting nyo? Ma'am, pumunta na lang kayo dito. O di siyempre, sumugod ako.
Oh, so nung nakita niyo po,
Oh my God, na-shock talaga ako.
bakit ano po nakita niyo nung dumating kayo?
Because I was in, syempre we're shooting, pero the makeup artist kasi had a crew din. So there were a lot of men in the room. Then I was in nakapanty.
Panty lang, walang top?
No, parang I had like
In
a
a-
super skimpy top.
In a pants jumpsuit na meron ditong tela, meron ditong tela.
Basta it was
parang
too
it was
sexy for
ganon.
her.
It was sexy.
She screamed at the photographer, oh my God,
Ah,
nakakahiya.
sumigaw po kayo dun sa set.
Yeah, she was
Siyempre,
like, "That's my
pinagbabato ko
daughter."
sila. And then sabi pa niya sa akin, of all the people, the original Bold Star.
Is
Sabi pa niya
you.
sa akin.
I was like,
Sinabi po sa inyo?
Yeah.
Sinabi po
kasi
sa kanya.
meron siyang wet t-shirt look with her,
Yung may
riding a
pinakamagandang
horse.
hayop sa balat ng lupa.
Yes, that one. Sabi ko,
Anyway,
you
sabi ko,
are judging me? Look at this.
Ay, nabalikan po kayo.
Times were different. Like, times are the same.
No, that
So,
one,
nag-aaway
parang
kami.
ganun-ganun lang. Pero this one, daming lalaki. And then,
Siyempre protective. I understand her naman. Actually, it was when she went in, and then I was nakapanty, and there were
And
like
Adrian agreed.
15 guys. she was shocked. So it was like of the
No,
moment
not 15.
din.
Maybe 15.
Hindi naman, Mom. You're so
Hindi
excited.
na siya ka. Nung
Na-shock.
nagaganon, mami
No,
mo.
when she came in, I was just like, okay, this is what I have to deal with. And I just let her. And then only after process ko, because I wanted to finish the shoot. And then, nag-sorry din ako sa editor, the photographer. Like, I'm so sorry. But they were very gracious
No,
din.
but
They were
ako
like, "We
naman, I had to
understand."
deal with it after kasi I would see it in all the comedy shows. They were making a lot of parodies and all that. You're me, blah, 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 blah. Sabi ko, oh my God, titiisin ko na lang ito. I will not say anything para hindi lang lumaki. Kasi I saw it in 3 shows.
Yeah,
Time
syempre.
shows.
Yeah.
Ah.
May naka-corona pa ako doon, naka-bathing suit, something. Naglalakad daw, nagwaw.
What,
It
Mom?
was
You're,
kind
like,
you did not
mumbling.
know that, right?
No, they were probably spoofing you or something.
Kaya nga, spoofing it.
May nabasa akong quote, ewan ko kung makaka-relate ka. Tapos tawang-tawa ako, sinend ko sa mami ko kasi nakasulat doon, sometimes when I open my mouth, my mother comes out.
Yes, super.
Tawang-tawa ako doon sa ko, oo nga, kasi minsan pag pinapagalitan ko si Sevi,
Ganon na ganon.
minsan may mga lumalabas na, ay, mami ko yun ah.
Yeah.
Parang mami ko yung nagsalita.
Ganon, yeah. Sometimes before, kasi nung bata kami, my mom would say, ang mahal ng milk and gas and this and that. And then I'm like, my God, such a big deal. Just now that I'm gonna have 3 kids, that's exactly what I say. Why do we have to buy 3 more lemons? Eto na, meron na tayo, di ba? Everything is bilang, grocery,
Oo,
di
di
ba?
ba?
So, nafe-feel ko na yung sinasabi ng mom ko.
May
Tama.
rules kasi kami sa bahay.
Oo.
Na in the beginning, hindi din nagigets ng... May rules kayo. I'm sure you have rules in the house.
Yeah. No TVs din on a weekday.
Kami naman, no visitors after 7 p.m.
Okay, okay.
Nung bagong kasal po kami, ang mga parents ko, syempre iniisip nila, bahay naman ng anak ko yan. Minsan dadating 9 p.m., 10 p.m.
Your mother or your in-laws?
Mga 9 p.m., 10 p.m., gano'n na.
Pag po 7 p.m., ang gusto namin ni Paul, no visitors na para
Thank God you're not my daughter.
Ganyan din po sinabi ng mami ko. Uy, grabe. Parang 1 month kami hindi nakapag-usap na nag-sorry talaga ako. Na-offend talaga sila.
Yeah.
Super na-offend
Ay,
sila.
no, kinuwento sa akin ni Alex, yung parang sabi ni Sevi, why are you here? Nung COVID pa. We have rules in the house. Tapos Sevi turned around. Tapos yung mom mo, itong bata. Tawa ako. Siguro,
Bastos tong bata to na mama na sa ina niya.
but it's true. I think kasi when you get older, you have to put a boundary din
Yes.
on what your family
What's
structure
your boundary
is.
to me?
Ay, naku, anong boundary kay Miss?
Hindi, one time I remember we were in the house at 7 a.m. and then si Adrian, she wasn't dressed yet, naka-boxers. Tapos my mom jumped on our bed. Tapos parang si Adrian, oh, hi, tita. I was
Yeah.
like, Mom, you can't get in our bed at 7 a.m. She's like,
That
I'm
didn't
here to
bother
see
me.
my Balti. She's always there naman to see the kids.
What makes you naman think I wanted to see you guys? Diba?
Yeah.
I'm only there for Balti and
Yeah.
all that.
So she's
Diba?
always there to be with
Oo.
the kids.
So,
Yeah.
I have no boundaries about
Wala
them.
talaga siyang boundaries.
Diba,
Sometimes
so
I'm
hindi mo
like,
binibigyan ng rules si Miss Gloria na, Ma'am,
No,
wag ganito, wag ganito.
No, pero ano, what ba? In the kitchen sometimes, she's like, magluto kayo ng ganito, ganito. I'm like, no, I don't want to eat that. So she has her own feeling when she comes to my house, feeling niya it's also her house. So she'll make paluto and stuff.
Syempre,
Which is okay.
Which is okay because almost all the equipment there belongs to me. Lahat
She
ng kanya.
gives me, tapos pinamumukha niya sa akin, why, I gave you that rice cooker.
Talaga lahat po ng kaserola sa inyo.
Halos lahat when they were living in Bel Air. Wala naman. Why will they buy naman new? Ang dami ko.
No, because she's
Yeah.
always like, don't buy that. I'll give you mine. Don't buy that. Tapos,
Tama.
pag nandun na sa house, why, this is mine. Huh?
Yung mga ganun.
Give it to me.
Tsaka minsan ba pumupunta ka sa bahay ng mami mo, tapos may
Yeah.
mga kinukuha ka.
Yes,
Tapos
yeah.
lilipat mo
Oh,
sa
mine na
bahay
lang
mo.
this, the diffuser and stuff like that. Lagi.
Yeah. So parang feeling ko, it's my house.
Yes.
I guess when they get older, the children are bigger, parang I'll feel like a visitor. Even in Ava's house, I don't feel like a visitor. Parang
At home,
isa
na at
pa
home.
yan, at isa pa yan sa bahay ni Aba, lahat ng aircon naka-on. I said, Aba, nanginginig ako dito sa lamig. You can close
Kasi she
that.
always thinks we're gonna ask money from her or borrow from her. She's like, I don't
pinapatay
wanna
niyo
pay
pa-
for your bills. Ganon.
For the electricity. Grabe. But okay, they all turned out to be well and good. And my sons-in-law are good.
Ikaw naman, what are you most grateful for sa mami mo?
I think my mom taught me a lot of practical things that up to now I still use. And most especially, I think I can turn to her when I'm problematic or we have an open relationship. Sometimes it's too open that we fight a lot, but I would prefer it like that because we're both very direct. So, we don't like parang beat around the bush. If I feel this way, sasabihin ko, you know, you were so, let's say, mataray or bitchy or mean.
And I say, correct.
Yeah. Just to add that, I think the last thing I learned from you is always taking care of yourself and, you know, putting yourself ahead in your needs. Kasi sometimes we give everything to our kids. Walang natitira sa atin. So my mom is very good at that.
Oh,
I
meron,
always tell her that.
meron
Yeah.
akong narinig na ganun from Iala Vanzant. Our job as mothers is to fill our cup.
Yeah.
What's in the cup is ours.
Yeah.
What overflows is for you.
Remember that, Belle?
Yeah, that's so nice. Yeah, and it's true because it's hard to fill their cup if you're not, diba?
Kailangan ng
whole or
nakukuha
filled.
nila is the overflow.
Yeah.
But ours has to be filled. because
Especially
we
as you
cannot
get older.
We cannot keep on
Diba?
giving and
First
giving.
of all, nobody will love you if you have nothing to give.
Yes.
Love, money, fruit, food, di ba?
Yeah.
So kailangan, okay,
I think it
relax
also
na
builds
relax
into
ka.
you as a person.
Yeah, as a person, you have confidence. Kung ayaw nila sa'yo, di okay lang. You can be on your own.
Ayun. Yan ang mga lessons ni Miss Gloria. Thank you very much
Thank
po,
you.
Miss Gloria.